Let's talk about the most important part of any job you'll ever do around electronic equipment, and that's personal safety. Your primary responsibility is to ensure the personal safety of yourself and your coworkers. Anytime you work around a computer or any electrical device, be certain the grounding pin of the 110 plug is intact. Never work on a device until you've powered it down and unplugged it from the wall. If you're working on a portable computer, make sure the battery is out of the system. Power that comes from the wall is AC, it's alternating current, about 115 volts at 60 cycles. Alternating current coming out of a wall can be enough to stop your heart. Power coming out of a wall is retained even after the device is unplugged from the wall. It's retained in the device's power supply in components called capacitors. Capacitors in a high voltage power supply can retain enough current, enough power to kill you, even hours after the device is unplugged from the wall. This is why a power supply in a computer is an FRU, a field replaceable unit. It is not a serviceable part of the computer. Avoid servicing anything to do with high voltage, including computer power supplies. Another source of high voltage with which we're all familiar is a CRT monitor, a tube. B+ voltage within a CRT monitor can kill you. Do not work inside a CRT monitor. This is important. Do not wear an ESD bracelet around high voltage. If you are grounded, you become the path of least resistance for current. And if the current is high voltage, you are the path through which the high voltage current will flow. Another safety consideration is thermals, or heat. Devices inside a computer generate heat, in particular the CPU and memory. Allow a system to cool before you work on it. Some components get hot enough they can cause a severe burn. Another component of safety is your physical surroundings. Arrange the room in which you work to eliminate physical hazards. Don't leave wires on the floor. Don't leave components in places where coworkers can trip over them. Be aware of personal safety for yourself and those around you. You can also ensure your personal safety by lifting with your legs, not your back. If you're lifting extremely heavy pieces of equipment, wear a back brace, use a cart, or ask for help. Every room in which you work should be fire suppressed. At a minimum, you should have a Class C fire extinguisher available to you. A Class C fire extinguisher is made for electrical fires. Any component that presents a potential hazard ships with its own MSDS, or Material Safety Data Sheet. An MSDS explains, among other things, what you do if you come in contact with something relating to an electronic component that's potentially dangerous to you. An MSDS also explains proper disposal of equipment. For example, an alkaline battery can be disposed of in the trash. A NiCad battery cannot. Anytime you see a hazardous situation within your organization, report it to your safety officer and have it taken care of. Personal safety is number one. Let's sum up with a few peripherals which can present a safety hazard to you. We mentioned CRTs. If you must work within a CRT, discharge the high voltage first. Best practice, don't work in CRTs. We mentioned power supplies. Components called capacitors retain a charge long after the device is unplugged. Power supplies are field replaceable units. Replace, don't service a power supply. Printers. Printers present a safety hazard. Laser printers, some use laser light. That can damage your eye. They use toner. You don't want to inhale toner particles from a laser printer. The toner is fused or melted onto the paper by fuser rollers. Fuser rollers get hot. Definitely a safety hazard. Parts of the laser printer that manage the paper path can be complicated and fast. That presents a safety hazard within a laser printer. DVD drives and CD drives write the data with laser light. Also, laser light can damage your eyes. Never look down the end of a fiber optic cable. Shine the light into your hand, look for a red dot. Do not look into the cable. Other printers that present a hazard: impact dot matrix printers. Solenoids, little coils in the print head, get very hot enough to burn you. And inside any device, if a component has a heat sink or a heat spreader on it, that tells you to let the device cool down before you touch it. Heat, thermals, definitely present a safety hazard. Safety is your #1 priority.